first, what I want to say is thank y'all for having me here and just sitting down and listening to me. I mean, this is huge. Last year when I got a call from Dexter, one of my old coaches had recommended me to come play. My team hadn't made Dallas Cup because we weren't the top 4 in our league, and so we didn't get the chance to play. And my biggest dream, I mean, I used to go out and watch Dallas Cup when I was little, 13, 12 years old. I mean, it was just always a big thing, just watching all those kids play and just how amazing it was. The atmosphere was incredible. It's like basically a youth World Cup, so it was the biggest deal. And then when I got the call to come play, it was huge. And so at that time, I was playing for basically 3 different teams. I had practices 5 days a week. I was training for more than 3 hours a day, including goalie training off to the side and games on the weekends. I had high school practice, which I know isn't as intense, but it's still practice. It's still touching the ball, still working. Games Tuesdays and Friday nights. I also had what we had at the time called pre-academy, which is the step right below the professionals to where they develop you to become the pro players. And then I had my premier team, which I'm currently on now. And that team didn't make it last year, but we still practiced 3 days a week and pre-academy practiced. Same nights that the premier team did. And I would practice for an hour and a half, get done with my pre-academy session, run over to the next field and go start my Premier League, and then after that I go about an hour of goalie training. So I mean, it was a lot. It took a lot of commitment. My body to one point just didn't want to work anymore. I was so sore rolling out of bed in the mornings and having to go to school, and it was a drag. It was really hard. But I did it all because I mean, I had a blast. I love the sport so much. I can't get enough of it. I don't really know how to say it. It's more than just a sport. It's like a religion. I mean, it's like your relationship with God. You love soccer, and God has blessed you with talents and stuff. I mean, all of y'all are over here for a reason, right? I mean, y'all didn't just wake up one morning and just, oh, I'm good at soccer. I mean, y'all have all worked hard, and being in Dallas Cup is huge. One of the biggest. It is the biggest tournament here in America. The biggest tournament. It is the highest, most prestige tournament. If you win Dallas Cup, I mean, it's basically, like I said, it's like a World Cup. And is this y'all's first year over here doing this? I mean, that's huge. What age group did y'all play in?
Under 14.
Under 14? I mean, I was always out there watching those kids play, and y'all are actually here. And I've only been a keeper for 4 years now. I started off as a field player, and I played bad, really low soccer. I mean, I would come out and watch all the different teams play and just one day decide I wanted to be there and that I wanted to go play professional, I wanted to go to college, I wanted to do all this stuff. And so it took a lot of time and commitment, and while I was doing all those practices, I still managed to keep straight A's in school. I'm currently being asked into National Honor Society, which is a pretty big thing here in America. It's like the top 10% in your class. Out of 288 kids, I'm ranked number 12 in my school. And so having that high, being that up, you get asked to be a part of this program. And right now my training isn't as much as it was supposed to be. I turned down an offer with training with the academy. What it is, the academy is even higher than pre-academy was, and it would have been more training than what it is now. Our academy was actually in this tournament, the FC Dallas Academy. And I don't know if y'all came out to the game Monday night, but they were the ones playing right next to us. And what they do is they train 5 days a week. They all go to the same school. They make you move schools. You all go to a different school. And what you do is you'll practice from 8 to 10 in the morning. You'll shower, go to school from 11 to 3. You leave, and then you go back to practice from 5 to 7. And you do that every day. And then you go and travel on the weekends all around the country and play different teams. I got an opportunity to go try out for that. And I decided to leave it early because I just thought it would be too much for me. And you know, sometimes I regret that decision of not going there and experiencing that and just seeing what it was like. But I mean, y'all have all been blessed with an opportunity to come over here. I mean, I don't know if y'all see it as a big deal or not, but I mean, y'all are under 14 years old. Y'all have about 3 or 4 more years you can come back. And I mean, they turned down a lot of teams this year to come over. A lot of teams got turned down. We were the only team in our league that got asked to come because we finished top of our league. And so there was 10 other teams that got turned down. And there's maybe, same thing here in Texas, maybe one team from around, I mean, there's certain tournaments you have to win here to get over. I mean, certain rankings you have to have. My team right now is #1 in the nation. And so I've gotten the opportunity to play on national television. We played on ESPN3 and one of our tournaments, the tournament that we won to become #1. And so, I mean, it's been a quick journey for me. And I mean, it's been not quick, it's been long, but in 2 years. And it all started with playing with your 96 boys last year. I don't know if y'all know any of them. Brendan Creed, Stefan Spicer, all those boys. I mean, I still, I just wish my Dallas Cup experience this past year was like that. I mean, I love y'all's club, I love the coaches, I love y'all's style of play. I mean, it's just, it was a real blessing to be able to play with y'all and be a part of Skhy FC for a week. And I mean, I don't know how much training y'all do and stuff, and I don't know what y'all's plans are if y'all are really serious about wanting to be professional soccer players or collegiate. But I mean, I know y'all still have a lot of time to decide that. Some of y'all will fall off, some of y'all will stick with it. I mean, I've had plenty of friends quit this past few years that I really think could have gone pro, but chose not to. But it takes a lot of heart and commitment to do it. You'll go through a bunch of rough times, not feeling it, not wanting to go. I mean, yeah, you'll sit there, man, there's other things I want to do. I want to go hang out with friends, I want to do that. But I mean, if you really want to do what it takes to get there, tournaments like this, practices and stuff, I mean, you just got to take it seriously and just grind it out, even if you don't want to be there. That time when I was out there for five days a week just practicing, man, I got sick of soccer. I didn't want to do it anymore. I was getting burned out. But every time I got out there, it was just like I really wanted to be there. It was just the thought of having to get out there. And I know that can get hard sometimes. I know. How often do y'all train a week? 4 days a week? And I can understand how that can be tiring, but I mean, training that 4 days a week, look where y'all are. Y'all made it here to Dallas Cup, where many of other teams got turned down. And I know that can be hard, that's understandable. I mean, you're growing up and everything, and I went through that phase also. It was actually the same exact time y'all are going through it. I get that can be hard, but I mean, then you gotta look deep down inside. How much heart do you have, and how much do you want to be there? I mean, all those guys you see on TV, Messi, Ronaldo, how much do you think they train a week? I mean, they're never leaving the field. They're always out there, always touching the ball. I mean, I follow Real Madrid on Facebook. Every day they have new pictures uploaded of their training sessions, new videos uploaded, and I'll sit there and I'll watch their videos, and they're out there every day. And I mean, that's the kind of commitment it takes to, if you all really want to be there. And I mean, I know those dreams can seem big, but I mean, everyone, you gotta have them if you want to get there. The college life with soccer is just like how academy is. You practice all day, basically every day. You go to school for a little bit. You'll travel around the country, and I mean, it's definitely a commitment, and I mean, you have to want to do it. And so that want is the biggest thing in the heart. I mean, y'all all have been blessed. If you're here, you've all been blessed with amazing soccer skills. And I mean, everyone in here has the potential to be a pro if y'all really want to. At least college level. I mean, it just all depends on your commitment and stuff, and how much y'all want it. Because I mean, I've played with all those other Trinidad boys. A lot of those kids were good. I knew Brendan, Nathan, Stefan, all those boys. They can go places. They're good. And everyone else, I mean, like I keep saying, it depends on your want and your heart. That's all it is. And then, of course, the biggest thing is your grades, because you're not going to go anywhere if you can't pass your classes. So that's the biggest thing I've had to learn. I've played with, there's 2 kids on my team that are absolutely amazing at soccer. Amazing, but they're as dumb as a board. They're completely, if you put them in a schoolroom, they can't figure anything out. And so those kids, unfortunately, if they don't get offered a pro contract right away, they're not going to go. They're not going to play college soccer, and they're not going to get the chance to go play pro. And so, I mean, that has to be your top priority. First off, is get through high school. I mean, even if it's barely scraping by, just get a good enough education to get you to college, and then work your way through. If you want to go straight pro, if you get asked, like on the national team, like how Brendan and them did, I would never turn down that opportunity if I got asked to play on our USA men's team. And so, I mean, it's really all I have. It's your want and commitment and your love for the sport. How much do you really love the sport, and how much do you really want to be out there doing it? And if your heart's not there, I mean, that you can't, no one can get mad at you for that. If you have other interests in things, I mean, that's just you. But I mean, if you're not happy doing what you're doing, then don't do it. I love being out there practicing every day now. I get mad when I can't go practice. Actually, after I get done talking to y'all, I'm going to go out to the field and kick for a little bit. I'm going to take my little brother with me, and we're going to go out and work on a few things. And so every day, I mean, soccer is like an addiction to me. I have to have it. I have to be with it. And if I get one day without it, it just drives me crazy. If I don't play it, I'm playing FIFA. I'm on it constantly. I'm watching games. I mean, reruns. If I miss a game, I follow. I have the score center on my phone. I mean, soccer is really my life, basically. What you have to do if y'all are wanting to play college soccer, the big thing is communication. You can talk to the colleges right now. You can email them and tell them, hey, I'm playing on this date, I'm this age, I play this position, and we're playing this team, this is our schedule for the tournament. And the college coaches, they may not respond, but they do read them. They do know, they'll write it down, and you'll see them out there. Right now, there's 3 big colleges actually that I'm talking to, that I'm really talking to. One is Belmont University in Tennessee, and it's a top D1 school, which means that it's like the highest level that you can get here in America for college soccer. You have 3 divisions, you have D3, D2, D1. D1's the highest. And so I'm talking with them. I don't know if y'all know of Houston Baptist University down in Houston, here in Texas. I'm talking to them right now, and then University of Central Arkansas. All are 3 top D1 schools. I'm only a junior right now, so they can't offer me anything, but they can send me emails and just talk to me very lightly. What y'all need to do right now, if y'all are serious about it, if y'all want to go to college here, or even in Trinidad, I don't know how it works in Trinidad, but here, if you want to go to college, you need to start emailing them early. Tournaments like this is the best time to email them, because they will come out and they will watch. I emailed those 3 colleges and they showed up. Unfortunately, they didn't get to see me play because my coach, we got a little confused on one of the games and I didn't get to play. And so all 3 of them showed up. I emailed them, none of them responded, but they were all there. There's a lot of rules behind it, and you can't talk to them at certain times, and they can only respond so much in certain ways. But there's different camps that you'll get emails about called ID camps, which is like a specific individual camp that they want you to come to and be assessed by all the coaches, and there'll be other players there. I did one over Christmas break, and the coaches loved me. It was one of the best decisions I could have made. I drove all the way up to Tennessee. It was a 12-hour drive, and stayed there for 2 days, and left and came right back. And you'll tell when a coach is being personal with you. I could show you on my phone the difference between a personal and a generic email. The personal emails, though, the ones that they say, hey, we want you to come out to this camp, this is our dates, if you can make it, that'd be great, if not, that's fine. You want to do ID camps, you don't want to do residential. the residential camps last like 5 days, and basically it's a bunch of recreational players that are no good. It's a waste of time. It's just for them to get money. The ID camps, though, that's where the coaches are serious, and there could be more than one college coach at a time out there. I'm getting ready to do a...
The ID camps are like how long? Just the weekend?
Yeah, they're typically 2 or 3 days. That's it. They're really short. They're not as expensive, but that's where you get your looks from. I've got invited to this camp that has more than 36 college coaches coming out to it. It's called the Preparatory Academy Camp, and it is the top of the line colleges that are going to be out there, and it's an ID camp that lasts 3 days, and they're coming here to Texas. I don't know where it's going to be at. All I know is I'm telling my parents that I'm sacrificing whatever it takes to play in that. I want to go. I want to get exposed. I mean, that's where most of these colleges are finding their players now, because they don't have enough time to come out and watch every single player play. And so they'll do these ID camps to see who they can pull in. And I'm telling you, if you get one of those, go. Because if you stand out, they will remember you and they will talk to you, and it's a big deal. If y'all are wanting to go to college here, you have to email the colleges. Tell them what team you play on, who's your coach. Tell them position, everything about the team, what number you are, because they can only stay for about 20 minutes at a time, because they'll have little books out, and there's tons of different kids on that book that they'll go and watch. But if they even take the time to come out and see you, you got to make sure you're playing your best in those 20 minutes. This is one of those tournaments that we call here a showcase tournament, which is where all the college coaches come out and they watch you play, and it's basically just a tournament to watch you play. And you have to perform your best, because that 20 minutes can make or break a decision for a coach. It's basically like gambling. You can sit there and email the top coach, hey, I want you to come out and watch me play. Okay, we'll come watch you play. Say I let a ball go through my legs and went over my head. He walks off and I'll never hear from him again. And I mean, there's rarely second chances. I mean, that's why you always have to be on your top performance. I mean, even though some days you don't want to play, you're sore, you're sick, hurting. I mean, I've played through various numbers of injuries. I played through a broken nose. I played through a cut on my eye. I recently got gashed in the face and played. You can go you'll go to the college's website, say like University of Central Arkansas, that's who I'm talking to. I type in on Google, University of Central Arkansas. I'll type in University of Central Arkansas Athletics, and you have to search that page. I mean, it takes, the college's email, it'll take about 3 hours to find them, the email address, and then type out. You want to make every email special, specific. I mean, you don't want to sit there and take one email and then email it to every college, because they'll know. You have to make each email personal and say, hey, I'm interested in your school. I've noticed you have this. I'm interested in playing. But how you find it is you'll go on the website and you'll go under, it'll either be under the roster or staff directory. And the staff directory is like all the coaches for every sport. And so they'll have their name and then the email off beside it. And so I'm telling you that's how you're going to get to college. They're not going to decide, oh, I want this kid, I'm going to go find him. You have to find them. And I used to think that, oh, the colleges will come to me. It doesn't work that way. They don't care who you are unless you tell them that you want to go to their school. The university, the other college that I went to in Tennessee, Belmont, what they'll do is they have 2 days of weightlifting. When season goes on, you'll do ball work, skills, agility, training. I mean, that's what it is. But as soon as your season's over, they do weights. They even do yoga. I mean, different things like that for balance and core and strength. I mean, to get you ready for the next season. Because when you start playing, you lose weight. I mean, regardless whether you think you're the biggest dude or not, weigh yourself before the season and weigh yourself after. You'll lose it. That's why they'll have you work out and get stronger and condition you throughout to get you ready for the next season. We don't do it on our club team. We'll do it in high school, but it was more of a self-commitment to go do it myself, that I wanted to start lifting and getting stronger. I didn't do it until really this year, last year. I mean, y'all would be like freshmen at my school, which is the youngest for high schoolers, I wouldn't really touch too many weights right now because you're still growing. And if you start lifting, you'll close growth plates in your body, and that's not good. You'll stay short. And so if you have more growing to do, finish out growing, and then that's when you can start lifting and you can gain really, really fast. I mean, simple push-ups and sit-ups. I would do crunches every night. That's what I've noticed. The best thing to do is core workouts, because everything else follows your core. And so, I mean, you've never seen a fat person before with an awesome six-pack. I mean, they're genuinely ripped. And so, I mean, it all follows. But I wouldn't really start touching weights until the 2 to 4 years. Size does matter in college. I've noticed that the soccer isn't as pretty in college. It's more of an athletic sport. You have to be fast. If you're not fast, you have to have the best foot skills on the team. And unfortunately, that's how it is for college. I don't like it really. It's more, it's like a track meet basically. You have to be fast and skilled and big. Physical, I mean, you gotta get big. That's what I'm trying to do right now. I've looked at the weights of the other goalkeepers. The average goalkeeper is 6'2", 215. I'm 6 foot 160. So I've got a lot I've got to catch up to, and I mean, at the same time, I still have to keep my agility, footwork, and everything else. So I mean, it's a lot for me to have to go through. But I figured to start now versus right before I go to college and sit all 4 years. I'm a little on and off with the diet. I slack off more than what I should, but basically what I'll stick with is mass, like protein and stuff, lots of meats, lots of like good meats, not like hamburgers and stuff like that. I drink protein shakes, lots of fruits and vegetables, just lots of things that can give you energy, carbohydrates, bread, rice, different things like that. I mean, I stock up on that because of how much I do, and to burn it all off and turn it into muscle, because you don't want any of that turning into fat. And when I went to get my physical done, they said that your healthy body fat percentage is supposed to be 20%, and mine was at a 15%, so he told me everything I was eating was great, I was in great shape, and basically if I want to put on mass, now's the time to do it. And getting bigger will make you quicker, stronger, faster. I mean, it bugs me personally. I get offended when I see fat goalkeepers, because a lot of kids think because they're big, oh, I could go be a good goalkeeper and stuff. I don't like that. A lot of colleges have complimented me, saying that they like me because of my speed and footwork that I have and how quickly I can move. Now there's some kids that are bigger, that are like 6'2", like 230, that are my age, and of course are going to get colleges because they're huge. But being slow as a goalkeeper doesn't work as well here in America. I mean, some are, but there's not really slow. It's more explosive. How quick is their first step? How quick can they come out? For everything you do in life, you have to be committed to it. You have to, no matter what you do, you can't take a lackadaisical attitude with it. Everything you do, you have to be willing to give more than 100% with it, and try your hardest, even if you don't like it. I mean, in regards to when I first started playing with this team, I didn't like the guys really because it was a brand new team. It was hard, but I stayed committed, worked out through it, and now things are great. With school, I'm taking classes that I don't enjoy, that I don't like, but I still give more than 100% with it. And you just gotta stay committed. You can't just give up on things if you really want to prosper, if you really want to grow up and do well in your life. My family's always said, no matter what you do, stay committed to it, don't quit, finish through, and if you don't like it, don't do it again. But with studies and everything else, it's hard to find time every now and then, but any extra time I get, I mean, I've been up till 3 o'clock in the morning studying for tests, doing homework, and I mean, I know it's not healthy, it's not good, but I mean, there's some things that you have to do in order to get things done in the classroom. And sometimes you have to sacrifice hanging out with friends, going to parties, and stuff like that in order to get done what you need to. I know it's lame, it's not really the best thing to do, but in the end it all does pay off. I can promise you that now that I'm playing and stuff, I have time now to go hang out with friends every now and then. I can go see a few people. But I mean, that's soccer. Soccer is a religion, and I will keep saying that until I die. I mean, soccer, you follow it like how you would a religion. You love it like how you would a religion. I mean, you got to take your time for it like how you would a religion. If you all go to church and stuff, you go every Sunday, or at least that's how it is here in America. Every Sunday you go to church for 3 to 4 hours a day. I mean, that's how soccer is. You go and you do it. I mean, it's been very stressful on my family also because my brother plays, my dad coaches him, and so my family's separated a lot, and it takes a lot of sacrifice in order to be able to do that. It's been stressful on my parents' marriage and stuff, being away so much, and you know, I can't thank them enough for doing as much as they've done for me. How much they've taken out of their lives to give to me and my brother, and how I want to repay them back is them not having to worry about college. I want to be able to get a full ride scholarship to where they don't have to worry about paying, that everything's set, and I eventually want to give back to them as much as I can. They have been there for me through everything, have supported everything that I've done, and really y'all need to look back on y'all's parents also, and I mean that's the biggest thing on why y'all are here is because they basically allow you to be, and they want you to be, and they're committed to y'all. And it's been, like I said, it's been very hard on my parents. They've had a hard time, but we're finally getting out of it, and you know, it's been stressful, it's been hard, but without them, I wouldn't be where I am now. Without their advice, without them smacking me in the head, keeping me on the right track, I wouldn't be where I am now. And at this age, you know, sometimes I still feel like I'm right more than they are, but that's how it's going to be. Repetition is the biggest thing in soccer. It basically has to become another instinct. It has to be a natural instinct. With goalkeeping, my goalie training, all it is repetition. It's the same drills over and over and over until you get them perfect every time. My goalie coach will sit there and it'll have drills set up specifically for what we want to work on. It's become a natural instinct now. For example, when a ball comes in the air and it's within the 8 to 6 yards, I immediately go out and grab it. I immediately go out. If a kid's coming one-on-one, I immediately step out and go. It's natural things, and I don't think about it. It just happens. Your touch is on the ball, sitting on the line. If a ball's coming across your body, you trap it with your right foot. Don't try to adjust with your left. It's natural things like that, the repetition that helps. Knowing to when you get a ball, how to immediately look up and how to position your body on the field. The repetition is the biggest thing in soccer, and being able to perfect the fundamentals and simple things. Every one of my drills, every one of my practices is basically repetition, because at this point, there's nothing really new you can teach. Basically, just how you play the game, what style you play, and how things need to be done quickly. You all really don't need to waste time on different little drills and stuff. I mean, it's basically playing now. At least at my level it is. Being 2 years old, I mean, that's what we do now is we play. We'll do simple ball skills before, touches, passing, keeping the ball on the ground. Ball should never pop up. Just simple things like that to where it becomes natural instinct. You don't have to think about it. Your foot should be a little bit up more than it's down. It just happens. So when you're playing in the game, you don't have to waste that half a second thinking about it and end up losing the ball. It all clicks and happens. And that, in goalkeeping, every position on the field, that half a second makes a difference. That half a second wins or loses a game, championship. I could show you all a prime example of, I've got a video on my phone from when I played on TV. One of the saves I made in the last few seconds, it was instant reaction. You can tell it is repetition of drills over and over and over again. And it's what won us the game to be number 1 in the nation. And it's simple repetitions, and as boring as the drills are, every drill has a purpose to getting you where you need to be. We still do simple keep away games, and we get from here to there and pass it back and forth. Silly stuff, but the pros do it. You have to perfect the fundamentals. The fundamentals will not always. You need to do your best to perfect the fundamentals. I mean, they never will be, but you need to get them as perfect as you can. I mean, and through that repetition, you'll get there. Messi is an amazing player, but you know what? He's not perfect on everything he does. He's an amazing player, but I mean, he still goofs up every now and then. But you can tell he's done more repetition work than anyone else out there, because his touch on the ball is perfect almost every time. And that's why he's so much higher than everyone else. I mean, I'll argue with anyone that Messi is the best player in the world. I don't think anyone else is better than him. Y'all can tell me where y'all want, but you can't argue with 90-something goals. And you can't argue with championships and stuff. I mean, it's crazy, and that stuff all has come from repetition. At our level, it's not asked for anymore, it's expected, and if you don't do it, you don't play. The intensity, simple drills like one-touch passing, two-touch passing, you'll only benefit out of it if you bring the right intensity. If you sit there and just barely kick it every time, I mean, yeah, if you barely touch it, it's going to stay on the ground, it's not going to do anything. But you're not going to pass like that in a game without losing it. You have to bring high intensity as if someone's on your back or playing right beside you. If there's defenders, I mean, you have to keep the highest level of intensity that you can. In my goalie training, every single shot, every single ball that's thrown at me, I play as if it's basically saving the World Cup or a championship. I mean, every single ball, I think of the last shot I'll ever take again, the last game I'll ever play again, the last practice I'll ever have again. I mean, it really could be. I mean, you never know what could happen, injuries. I mean, losing interest, you never know. But I play every single game, practice every session as if it's my last, and I'll never touch a ball or see a ball again. And you have to bring that intensity and in order to benefit out of the practice. If you just, basic thing, you practice like you play. Play like you practice. Heart is the biggest one. You have to have heart. Commitment and determination. Those three things right there. Heart, commitment, and determination. The heart, by far the biggest one. Every pro player you see, there's not one of those players that don't have heart. Every college player you don't watch, there's not one of them that doesn't have heart. That's why they're there. The sport affects them that much. They play because they love it and they can't get enough of it. The commitment, you can't just sit there, oh, I don't feel like practicing today, I'm just going to sit then or just sit out this one. Even through injuries, sicknesses, whatever. I mean, not even a soccer player, one of the biggest guys that I've always looked up to was Michael Jordan. Y'all know who Michael Jordan is, basketball player? Won an NBA championship right through the flu-like symptoms. I mean, that's commitment, that's heart, and determination, will. I mean, that's all that explained right there. Not even a soccer player, and I still look up to him as one of my biggest role models because that guy has what it takes to play any sport. He doesn't care if he has to go out and play tennis, he's going to give all of those things and try to be the best tennis player in the world. And I mean, you have to, heart, commitment, determination, I mean, have to have them. Have to have them if you're serious about playing. If you're not feeling it, then you can't waste your time with it. Fear? Oh, I've been scared out of my mind many times. When I got asked to go play Dallas Cup, they still remember when I first met them, I was terrified. I had never played that high level of soccer. I honestly didn't feel like I was ready to do it. I even told them that. I said, how are y'all sure that I'm ready to do this? And you know what? They kept assuring me and said that God had brought me here for a reason and everything else. And you know what? You've got to be able to channel that and to turn into focus into your play. You shouldn't really ever be scared. And you know, the number one thing that I still remember to this day from what Dexter and Garth told me is take it all in. You can't sit there and worry about your nerves and everything else. I mean, you have to really look at the bigger picture. Look where you're at and look at where you're experiencing. And just take in the moment of everything. And I've lived by those words ever since they told me that, and it's helped me through every tournament. And I use those for my Disney showcase. I've used them for every tournament that I've ever been nervous in, and you know, it's helped me. So taking the moment with things. I mean, really look at where y'all are at. Y'all flew in all the way here to come play soccer. I mean, there are millions of kids that wish they could have done that, and y'all were blessed enough to come and do it, and just really win or lose. I mean, y'all were out here playing with some of the best teams in the world. I mean, I don't know if y'all noticed that or not, but these teams that are come are real. These are the real things, and this is what soccer is like all around. And you know, the experience, the atmosphere wasn't as big this year, wasn't as great, but I mean, it's still just huge to even being asked. I do have a problem with procrastination and stuff, and you know, that's a common problem a lot of kids have, is just procrastinating. But I mean, even if it's the last hour before something's due, I mean, I sit down, I focus, I do the best that I can with it, and I mean, ultimately it's my fault for not doing the assignment the right way. I never blame anyone else for anything. I mean, Dexter even remembers the game last year that lost it. I still feel like I lost Dallas Cup last year for the Trinidad boys. I watched the videos over and over and over again of our last game, and I still feel like I lost it, but the same thing applies in the classroom also. With everything you do, the same thing as you play like you practice. It's like schoolwork and stuff. If you don't really take your schoolwork seriously, how do you ever think you're going to pass? How do you ever think you're going to understand what you're learning and be able to apply it to real life? Or even just to tests. Like I said, I'm passionate about what you're doing. You have to take it seriously. You have to work as hard as you can with it. I mean, failed many of things before, blown many of things, and you know, if you let that get to you, you stop trying, and you're never going to get anywhere in life. I mean, you just won't have the drive to do anything. I mean, this just goes back to hard determination and commitment. You've got to be ready to fail. You have to be willing to accept that you're going to fail at some point. No one's ever gone through the whole life just perfect. You're going to fail at some point. And it's how you take that failure, whether you take it and run with it, or you just sit there and keep letting it tell you you're no good. My drive is based off of people telling me that I can't. People telling me I'm not good enough. When I get told I'm not good enough or that I can't do something, it drives me even more to prove them wrong. I love proving people wrong more than anything else. I mean, I love taking things and throwing it back in their faces and saying, look where I'm at now. I've had people tell me I'd never make it as a goalkeeper, I'd never be able to do this, that, and now I'm playing with the #1 team in the nation. So, I mean, that's always been my drive with things. I love it when people tell me I can't. And so, failure has definitely taught me new things, and through those failures, I've succeeded. And I'm sure there's still more that are going to come through. I still have a lot of time with soccer and stuff. There's going to be many more, but it's how I take those failures and if I let them get in my way or not. I mean, same thing for all of y'all, whether y'all have, if y'all have ever been told you can't with something, never shut down, never quit. I mean, as hard as it is, you got to keep going, keep pushing through. I mean, no pro soccer player sat there and failed and said, oh, I quit, and then got offered a pro contract. None of them.
You know, it's always good to have somebody to look up to all the time. You know, we hate, but we like to see somebody who has been through it already.
Yeah, get a picture.
Thanks very much.